House building and renovating can be expensive and time consuming. So how do you get started, and what are the first things that you're going to have to think about? Well, joining me with some helpful hints and tips today from Richard Burbage is Gary Carter. Gary, thanks so much for coming in.
Hi.
Self-building, home building, it's a massive job, but more and more people are taking it on.
That's right. The statistics are around about 15,000 people a year tackle the self-build option to get their dream home. And the most important thing really is to find a good location, as with all building projects. So there's a great website out there called Plot Finder.
Right.
If you just Google, you'll find that, and that lists basically building plots that are available across the UK.
Wow.
And the next place I suggest people go to get some good advice would be a good architect.
Yeah.
And there are architects that specialise in self-build. That's the Association of Self-Build Architects.
Right.
And again, if you go on the internet, you'll find their website. And they're bound to have one in your local area.
Yeah, I'm sure. And when it comes to like planning your ideal home, the staircase can be the focal point, the central point. It's a very important part of the build.
That's right. And with self-build, of course, you're starting with a clean sheet of paper. So you've got the opportunity to design the staircase that you really want, as opposed to renovating a staircase that's already been put into the property previously.
Sure.
So I would say think about the staircase as one of the first things you think about in your home, and you'll create a great focal point as you walk through your front door.
And renovation as well, you just mentioned the word renovation. Lots of people obviously buy properties, and we're all in the property game trying to make a bit of money, move onwards and upwards. Yeah. Renovating a home, renovating the staircase can really make a difference, add value.
It can. If you look at say the 1960s and 1970s style staircases, very plain. You normally just have what we would call a ranch rail staircase, which is the three planks of wood, normally painted white. Not actually allowed under modern building regulations anyway, and many of those have been replaced either with a more traditional style of staircase or a more contemporary style, such as the ones we've got here today. Yeah,
I mean, I'm just looking around, we've got some great looking stylish staircases here, and all of these are achievable as a competent DIY. You could take these on in the weekend.
That's right. I've had a go at some of this stuff myself, and the one behind you, say the Fusion product, it is really straightforward for a competent DIY to tackle that project in a weekend, as you say. And we've just launched another staircase system called IMIX, that's spelled IMMIX, which takes it on again in terms of its simplicity. And it really does de-skill what was a traditional joinery job.
Because this one as well, I remember chatting to you, and the slightly newer one that's behind you there. This one, I think, has got about 7 cuts on it or something, and that one over there, all the holes are pre-drilled. It's kind of like grown-up Meccano, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, obviously, we put a lot of time and effort into designing the product in the first place, and then all the products are machined in our factories, so you get a great standard of finish. So, as you rightly say, there's just 7 cuts on that.
Brilliant.
And even if you do make an error on the cut, it's hidden within the metal fitting. So you're not going to see the join, as it were.
No.
And what that allows us to do is to pre-finish the product for you again in our factory to a high standard, so you don't even have to paint or varnish it.
Brilliant.
Once you've installed it, you're finished.
And how can people start to plan their ideal staircase? Where do they go? What advice or help have you got?
Well, we've got a planning tool called Stair Planner, which you can access via our website at richardburbage.com. And what this does, basically you can make some decisions about whether you want a traditional stair or a more contemporary design, what type of material you want, whether you want an oak or a pine or a metal system or a glass system, how much money you want to invest, whether you're going to fit it yourself or perhaps get somebody else to fit it for you.
Sure.
Put in the dimensions of your staircase, and it will give you all of the information you need, what to buy, where to buy it, approximately how much it's going to cost, and away you go.
And that's on richardburbage.com.
richardburbage.com.
Great stuff. Gary, thanks ever so much for coming in. We are out of time. And thanks to you, as always, for joining us. And of course, if you want any more help or advice, you can go to the Richard Burbage website or have a look at all the W's.innovate-and-renovate.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.